And now we're going to work on virtual crop sketch number 2 for August 2025. In this sketch, we will need a 6-inch tall by 12-inch wide piece of paper and an 8-inch wide by 6-inch tall sheet of paper, and then we'll have these decorative elements here. For photos, it shows 2 vertical photos that are 3.5 by 5.5 and 2 horizontal photos that are 6 by 4. I found this 2 horizontal photos and a third photo, but it's also horizontal. So I'm going to make a few modifications to the sketch to accommodate my photos. As for papers, I'm going to use this from NSD 2025. It's actually the last sheet I have in that paper pack. I'm going to use Canary cardstock. And I found this scrap, which I'm not sure, I think it came from a Christmas collection, but I'm not sure which one. I'm not sure what size I will cut this sheet of paper just yet. But it's meant to be this block right here. So let's get started. As a basic base of this design, it's a half and half design, or a happy horizontal, as Janet Madison coined that term, and I love that term. So we're going to cut this piece of paper in half. We're cutting this sheet of paper at 6 inches to give us a 6 by 12. Now we'll lay our photos on about where we think they'll go. This is about where we believe our photos will go. I noticed that these prints may not be fully 6 inches wide, so if there is a little space left over, it won't bother me at all in this layout. So next we'll wonder, what will we do with this box? And because I'm going to be using a single 4x6 photo here, I plan to cut this piece of paper here down 1 inch smaller, both horizontally and 1 inch smaller vertically than the sketch calls for. So our sketch calls for 8 inches by 6 inches. I think I'm going to do 7 inches by 5 inches. This paper is already 6 inches tall. I'm going to cut it at 5 inches, which will leave me a 12-inch by 1-inch strip, which I may use on another layout. And then instead of cutting this at 8 inches, I'm cutting it at 7. So my modification is 5 by 7 way out. So our next step will be to adhere this down. Our next step is to put the decorative borders here. They could be made with stickers, or we can pull out our tools, which of course is my favorite thing to do. And so I've chosen the beaded ovals decorative punch and the double fan chain border maker cartridge. I wanted to pick colors for the borders that will go here that will blend well with this paper. And of course, I have a beautiful variety to pick from. But I want to be careful not to pick something so bold that it overshadows the photos. And so I picked this light blue scrap left over from sketch number 1 and this light beige that was left over from another previous layout. So we're about to punch 4 borders, and they should be at least 5 inches wide to fill this space. What we're about to do, though, is to just cut one 12-inch border, which we will cut in half and tuck under here when we're ready to do so. So the first cut is the double fan chain, and we'll cut this beige with this. Now, I have a little tip. If you are familiar with using this, you can start it in the first notch, but I like to start it in the second notch, and I'm about to explain why. I made the first punch and I'll pull it away. See this little tip right here? This stays attached right now, but if I had punched this notch first, this would be loose, and sometimes it gets caught. So I start at the second notch. I continue to punch down, and this continues to stay attached until I get to the very end, and that really reduces the possibility of jamming. See, now this broke loose a bit and could possibly have jammed my punch. Then I come back up here and get this, and this piece will fall away. Now we'll get ready and we'll punch out our beaded oval chain. Now this is a paper with a bit of a rainbow design, but that won't show through once we punch with the beaded ovals. I'm using my little triangle here to help me align the paper. And of course, always make sure your paper is going to the back. So once you've aligned it, make sure you give it a nudge. And we have a beautiful, beautiful. And that design of the arches no longer shows. All I see is a beautiful blue. Our next step with our arches and our ovals is to cut these 12-inch borders in half and make them 6 inches. I could use either of my trimmers, but when it comes to doing a cut like this, my favorite is this personal trimmer. I'm cutting it at 6 inches, so I have 2 pieces that are 6 inches. And for this, it doesn't have to be perfect because I only need 5 inches. And the other inch will be tucked behind on my layout. Now, let's put down our borders. And this is how our borders will look. Let's get them adhered. And now we have our borders on. So we're going to trim our ends. Here is our final layout. We've adhered our borders down. We added a title. It is in white ABC 123s. I wanted a low contrast. I didn't want it to stand out. I want the photos to stand out the most. Then I used the postage stamp punch to punch some embellishments here. Also used the ticket punch and made some fishtail banners. If you found this video helpful to you or entertaining, please like this video and subscribe to the channel for more videos on sketches and much more.